Hello there guys, well I'm back in Fallout 76 and I've decided to change the way that I play this game. So what I'm going to do is delete my character. Now the reason I'm doing this, there are a lot of problems with this game. It isn't finished. They shouldn't have released it, they should have had it on, early access for free or a lot cheaper, or kept it in beta. It's not ready. It's very obvious that they've released it at a time when they're trying to take advantage of the Christmas sales and all that kind of stuff, so it's not ready. But there's a couple of other things that you need to realise about this game. First of all, it's the first multiplayer Fallout experience. So because of that, let me just jump into this. Because it's the first multiplayer game they've ever done, it's probably going to continue to get support and updates and patches for a very long time, as long as people continue to buy it and play it, and also obviously pay for those microtransactions. So the game's going to get better. Now, personally for me, I still think it's wrong for Bethesda to have released it in the state that it's in, but I'm very aware that over time, some of the things that are problems that a lot of YouTubers are pointing out at the moment are going to get fixed. Now, this game doesn't have a great deal of NPCs. It does have some. It has quite a few robots that all have their own personality, their own story. So there are NPCs, and there's also like super mutants and things, but there's no human NPCs. So we're kind of missing out on a lot of the story that was in Fallout 4 and people's individual stories and all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, I've seen this video before, so I'm going to skip it. Because we're missing out on the human NPC story, it means that a lot of the story is being told to us through the terminals and through the holotapes. Now, terminals or holotapes are something, as I said on my previous video, that I normally completely ignore. So I normally skip all of that stuff. But what I'm going to do instead is read and listen to everything. The way I'm going to approach this game is almost as though I'm reading a book called Fallout 76, and I'm reading it through terminal entries, and I'm reading it through the holotapes. I'm going to learn about the lore, I'm going to learn about all the different individual stories, the struggles, what's happened, everything. And then, once I've done that, I've also got a very beautiful world to explore. I can build bases, I can fight, I can interact with other people as well. So I'm kind of looking at this game in a completely different way. I'm going to look at it like it is a book, and I'm just going to absorb it and learn about it. Because it's worth considering that all of those entries, all of those terminal entries and those holotape entries, I don't think any of that's going to change. The story that is written inside those parts of the game is probably always going to be exactly the same as it is right now. Now, the stuff that's going to change as they release patches and updates and they fix things is the bugs in the game, the problems in the game. Now, I don't expect that there will be the ability to mod for quite a long time, simply because there's microtransactions. If we have the ability to mod, then people aren't going to be spending money on cosmetic things within the game when they can just get them from the modding community and have a lot more choice. So for that reason, I expect the modding system, if it comes at all, to not come for a very long time. I do expect it to arrive. I kind of hope that it does, because the modding community in Fallout 4 was incredible. Now, what I personally wish is that Bethesda had looked at the modding community of Fallout 4, cherry-picked some of the creators from that and invited them onto the development team for Fallout 76. I think that would have been awesome. I think some of the fans, some of the players have much better ideas as to where to take this franchise. They have better ideas as to how to develop menu systems that are more organized. They create more interesting things, more beautiful things. So I think if Bethesda would have got all those guys on board, that would have been amazing. And I tell you what, they probably wouldn't have even needed to pay them. If they'd have said to the modding community, we're thinking about having some of you guys do some of the development for Fallout 76, and as an exchange for that, we're going to credit you in the game, I think a lot of people would have jumped on that opportunity just to be a part of the creation of a franchise that they believe in and they enjoy. So that's kind of where I am now with Fallout 76. I've watched a few videos on this. I've seen people complaining and bitching. I've seen the scores that it gets. I do think some people are not giving it a fair chance, but I also think some people are blinded because they are so bought into the Fallout franchise. It's the same as anyone who gets an allegiance to a company. We get an allegiance to a company and then almost everything they do we love, and when they do something bad we try and defend them. So I'm seeing a lot of that on YouTube, and I'm going to try and not do that. Now, I mean, I tend not to do that. To give you an example, I've been buying Apple phones for a very, very long time. Yet I broke my phone quite recently, and I did say this in a couple of the comments. Someone said to me, have you bought anything on Black Friday? And yes, I bought a new phone. And for the first time ever, I've gone out and purchased a non-Apple phone. I've bought an Honor 8X. Now, I don't actually have it yet because I've ordered it. I bought it online. But I'm moving away from Apple for the first time. I love Apple products. I've got almost everything they've ever created, but I don't have any allegiance to them as a brand. I do think that the new iPhone is too expensive, and I kind of so rarely use my phone, I can't justify spending that much money on it. And I also don't really like it. It's very heavy and it's a bit bulky. But I do like the look of the Honor 8X, so I'm giving it a try. So I'm not a fanboy of one system or another. I know a lot of people argue between PlayStation or Xbox. I would happily have both. I only happen to have Xbox, and I'm sticking with Xbox for the foreseeable future because all my games are downloaded. But I might try out PlayStation. I have no allegiance to one or the other, and I originally had a PlayStation 1 and then a PlayStation 2 before I started buying Xboxes. So I am a fan of Fallout. I have played previous Fallout games and really loved them. I have noticed that in this game there seems to be something's missing. I mean, this is the character creation screen. If I change my sex from female to male, the woman disappears and there's a loading screen and then the man appears. Now in Fallout 4, when you change your sex to male and female, your partner that's standing behind you goes, oh, step aside, let me have a go. Now it's only something small, but it's a really, really nice touch. And I know I mentioned this in my previous video as well, but if you tweak something when you're sculpting the face, then your partner mentions it. They say, oh, I love your nose, or have you had your hair done, or something like that. And I loved that. That was really, really special and really different to anything we'd seen before. So for me, the character creation is kind of going backwards. And also in the character creation, there is nothing at all new. It is all the same as Fallout 4. Unfortunately, when you are doing your body, if I pop to the body, I can't rotate my character, which I think is really annoying. I want to see my character from the back, where I'm going to see them almost the entire time that I play, while I'm deciding how fat or thin or muscular I want them to be. On Fallout 4, there was a mirror behind you so that you could see that kind of stuff, and you kind of tilted your body a bit, but you didn't rotate. So yeah, there's a few things that I do think were just done very nicely in Fallout 4, even at this early stage, that they're not doing here. So I am definitely going to miss those touches in the game. I'm going to miss some of those stories from the human NPCs. You know, most humans that you bumped into in the game had an interesting story to tell you. Now, definitely, once you had exhausted all of their scripted content and they just started saying their default hellos and byes, it got frustrating. But then you could change your partner to another one. But at least they had an interesting story. Now, also in the modding community, there were quite a few companions that you could have from the modding community that were also really good. They had their little storylines there. And they also had different perks there unlocked for you. I know there was one of them that was exploring the wasteland. And when you had completed her storyline, it opened up everything on the map so you could see where everything was. So there was a reason for you to complete their storylines too. Now we're missing out on all of that with Fallout 76, which for me is a real shame. But I mean, Fallout 76 is a different game. There's a reason in the game that the humans are dead. There's a reason that there's just robots, there's just holotapes, and there's just terminals, and there's just like mutated creatures. You know, and as we read those terminal entries and we listen to the holotapes, that story unfolds for us, and I want to get into that story. A lot of time will have been spent creating that side of the game. And as I said before, that's the side of the game which is as ready as it's ever going to be. That's not going to change. What's going to change is the problems, like an NPC on a quest that doesn't respond, so you can't continue the quest. Now that's incredibly frustrating, but a patch is going to fix that. You know, the frame rate's dropping when you get more than just a couple of enemies on the screen. It's frustrating, but it's going to be fixed in time. I mean, I bumped into a couple of dogs and they just started teleporting all over the place. It was ridiculous. And I have seen some really crazy stuff on other people's YouTube videos. I mean, I've only played the game for 2 hours so far, so I've not seen much, but I've already seen problems. And of course, other people have made compilations of problems that they shared on YouTube, but I don't think I've seen any problems shared on YouTube that I don't expect to be fixed. Now, a few people are moaning about something that's a lot more fundamental with the game, like the multiplayer system, being penalised for attacking someone to stop the grieving and that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't really mind that. But I'm happy to play through and see how it goes. Now, I know at times it's going to be frustrating because there are problems. It's unfinished. But I also have enough faith that those things are going to be fixed. But I'm not a fanboy. I'm not, devoted to Bethesda Studios or anything like that. I've only ever played the Fallout games. I've had a quick look at a couple of their other games, but barely even got into them at all. They just don't really appeal to me. I kind of prefer things that are set in the future to set in the past, so Skyrim and that kind of stuff. It's just not my thing. So there we go, guys. That is going to be my new approach to Fallout 4. Now, not Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Now, previously, I was just going to record everything and share it with you so you could see as I progress through the game. Now, I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm going to spend a lot of time slowly reading through terminals and listening to holotapes, which is pretty boring viewing for you guys. So I will continue uploading videos on this, and as I learn about the story and the lore of the game, and I, learn about different things that are interesting through reading the terminals, I'll tell you about them. I'll tell you the reason why certain things are the way they are in the game if I learn about that without you having to sit through it and read those along with me. Now, I read very slowly, so trust me, you don't want to read it with me. But yes, I will continue uploading videos. If I discover something that can be exploited, I'll share that with you. If I build a base, I'll share it with you. If I find an interesting mission, I'll share that with you, and I'll just be making some videos of me exploring. But for the most part, I'm going to be playing this by myself. I'm going to be reading everything, listening to everything, learning the story of the game, and hopefully getting some enjoyment out of it. I've paid for it. I paid £40, that's about $50. It was on Black Friday discount. And I kind of want it to be good. It would be a real shame if it isn't good. I mean, it looks beautiful. The map looks good. It's the biggest map we've had so far in a Fallout game. And hopefully over time it's going to grow. And then when and if they allow the modding community to get their hands on it, then who knows what might result from that. That could be absolutely awesome. And then also, hopefully, we'll see expansions like we had Contraptions and Workshop. For me, Contraptions and Workshop made Fallout 4, which was already a good game, an incredible game. I loved all of that, everything about it. I used to make big labyrinths and traps and things, like torture chambers. I would trap a gunner or a raider, and then open them from their trap into a maze, and as they work their way around the maze, they slowly get killed by different traps in there. I love doing that stuff. I also love building factories. Now, the factories were pointless. It's like I built huge factories so that when I went back to Sanctuary, I would just dump all my junk, it would get all sorted out, and I'd end up with a storage conveyor belt full of different bullets. And I had a massive factory that did that. Now, I didn't have to build the factory. I could have just had an ammunitions factory with a storage thing and just dump my stuff straight into it. I didn't have to have this contraption with loads of conveyor belts and switches and things, but it was fun to make. It was really enjoyable. I had a switchboard so that I could go through all these complicated gates to say what bullets I wanted, and that was enjoyable to make. So I really, really hope that they introduce those kind of ideas to this game. But I've got to say, for the most part, Fallout 76 does seem to be just taking Fallout 4, removing some of the stuff from it, and making it multiplayer. It doesn't seem to be any more than that yet. But of course, I haven't delved into the story. I've not delved into those terminals and those holotapes, which is what I'm going to do. But it doesn't seem to have added anything. It just seems to have taken something out. And this is a prime example with the character creation. It's exactly the same as Fallout 4 with a couple of things taken away. You know, it's just the same. The face sculpture's the same, the hairstyles are the same, with maybe one additional one, I think. But it's just the same. They haven't done anything extra. And what they have done is taken away a couple of really small things that I thought were special. So that, you know, the compliments your partner gave you and the stepping aside, I thought those things were special. Now, obviously, we're just on our own here, so we can't do that. But they could have thought of something else that was special. You know, maybe another, you know, Vault Dweller is making comments or something completely different. But they could have done something a little bit special like they did in Fallout 4. And when they did those things, I thought that was awesome. It's just something we'd never seen anywhere before. It was so refreshing and just a lovely little attention to detail. And I like stuff like that. I'm a gamer and I like things that surprise me. No matter how small or insignificant they are, no matter how little bearing they have on the game as a whole or the story and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. When I was making that character and I pressed the button to change sex and my partner says, hey, you step aside, let me have a go. I liked that. It was awesome. Really, really good little touch. And obviously we don't have that here, but it would have been nice to have something. So guys, I'm not going to play through while I'm doing the video. All I wanted to do is to share with you what my intention is. What I'm going to do when I shut this video down is spend probably an hour or more sculpting my face, which is what I normally do when I start a game. I spend a huge amount of time doing this. Now, on my previous video, I'd kind of rushed through that because I wanted to jump into the game itself. But I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make a character I'm really happy with, a character worthy of the name Katumi, which is why I deleted the other one. And then I'm going to explore the vault. I'm going to read all the terminals, listen to all the holotapes. I'm going to not miss anything before I go outside. And then when I go outside, I'm going to explore everything. Read and listen to everything. And if I feel that I have something interesting to share with you, I'll make a video. If I start building a base and I want to share with you some of the buildings that I'm doing, or maybe you can join me while I'm building, I'll share that with you. But I'm not going to make you sit through me reading the terminals quite slowly, because I am a very slow reader. So that's all from me, guys. I just wanted to make this video to let you know what my intention is with this game. I'm not going to base my opinion on other people's YouTube videos. There are some people out there that hate it. There are some people out there that love it. There are some people out there that are defending it because they're fanboys of Bethesda. And I'm not going to fall into any of those categories. I'm just going to experience it and see what happens. And I hope and I think that it will get better as time progresses. They're going to start ironing out problems. And there is the possibility that at some time in the future, this could become the first ever Bethesda game that has no problems whatsoever. You know, they're going to support it. It's a multiplayer online game. It has microtransactions. It's going to be a cash cow for them. It will make money for a long time. The Fallout franchise has a large fan base. People are going to buy it even if everyone says it's shit. And because of that, it's going to continue to get support. And I think it's really important to remember that, because although it has problems now, and they are unforgivable, it should only be in early access, but the fact is it's been released, it has problems, it's not finished, but there will be updates, there will be patches, and I hope those problems get fixed. And while they're working on that, I'm going to be reading terminals, listening to holotapes, and just progressing slowly through the game. And I'm hoping that it becomes an incredibly good game in the future. So that's my 2 cents on Fallout 76. I'm going to stop the video now and I'm going to start sculpting this lady's face. I'm going to start with this one. I think it's the best one of them all. So I'm going to start sculpting myself a face, and I will see you all in my next video. So you take care and have an awesome day. Bye bye. Hello again, guys. Just before I dash, this is my face. So I've just spent probably about 20 minutes making this, not as long as I normally would, but I'm quite happy with her. I did go for the grime. I was in two minds on my previous video and then I regretted no grime, so I've gone for it this time. The reason I've chosen this hair and gone for the red colour, I think it kind of looks a little bit like a flag against the light colour skin, so the stripes. I like that. So I've gone for that kind of patriotic sort of look. Quite a square jaw, which I like. I'm not really happy with the mouth, but I fiddled with a lot of options, and this was the my best of a bad bunch. I quite like the rest of it. I like the nose, kind of like the shape of the face overall. Looks good. So this is my new character in Fallout 76. I'm going to play through and... oh, I haven't done her body. Goodness me. So body. I'm definitely not a fan of large. That's not going to happen. I'm not a fan of overly muscular, and I'm not a fan of super anorexic either. Actually, I don't mind that. The little stick. It just looks quite amusing. I normally pop around here somewhere. So more towards the slim, athletic sort of build. But yeah, I do wish you could rotate. It's a real shame that you can't. But I think that looks about right. Has that changed the gaunt of my face? I'm not sure. But there we go, guys. That's my new character. Let me know what you think. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it looks ridiculous? Do you think it looks awesome? This is going to be my playthrough of Fallout 76, reading everything, listening to everything, and playing very slowly. But I will be adding some videos in the future, as I say, when I start building my base and all that kind of stuff. And I'll also keep you guys updated on all the things that I learn from taking the time to read through all of the terminals and listen to all of the holotapes. So there we go. Welcome to the New Kutumi for Fallout 76. Right, that really is all from me this time, guys. You take care, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.